Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Raul. Welcome to our secured signing SharePoint integration webinar. As mentioned, I'm Raul, an account manager from here in New Zealand, and I'm happy to be here co-presenting with my colleague Peter, our country manager in Australia. Peter, please say hi to the audience.
Hi guys, welcome. I'm excited about this because it we get to show some really cool stuff here that I think will excite a lot of people on the call.
I definitely agree with you. It's one of our most popular integrations, I guess, because due to its popularity. Anyway, I'd like to
But
start the
then,
session. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
but then again, I often get excited about the littlest things. So hey,
Yeah, that's you. All right, anyway, I'd like to start off by giving you a little bit of trivia. We all know that digital signatures reduce carbon emissions. How? By eliminating printing, scanning, and courier trips. But what is the actual impact on the environment? By creating a PDF and sending it digitally for signing, you actually save up to 20 grams of carbon dioxide compared to printing it out, signing it, and having it sent by a courier. So it is very environment friendly. Don't you agree, Peter?
100%. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to look at the environment, and you're talking about printing. It's like you're talking ink, paper, the wear and tear on the printers, the amount of printers we throw out because of all that.
Mhm.
If you calculate all that, it's like it's huge. It's huge to the environment. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I think it's a big win for the environment by doing this way.
De- Definitely. And who has a printer at home anyway? So
Well,
what is the agenda for today? Yes, Peter.
sorry, I can't keep my mouth shut. But having said that, that was something interesting that happened 4 or 5 years ago where,
Mhm.
the likes of Officeworks and that ran out of printers because no one had printers at home.
Anyway, times have changed. So,
Yeah.
as I said, what's the agenda for today? We're going to talk briefly about secure signing in case you don't know us, and we're going to go into SharePoint, its history, its importance, and why a lot of businesses use it. And then I'm going to turn the floor over to Peter, who will demo our integration in SharePoint. And of course, we're going to open the floor at the end of the session for some Q&A. Now, to introduce ourselves, in case you don't know who Secured Signing is, we are a digital signing and online forms cloud platform. We're actually on Microsoft Azure. We launched way back in 2010, and we are a global company. We have offices in the UK, United States, Australia, where my colleague Peter is, and of course, our headquarters is here in New Zealand, where I am based. And as a platform, we integrate with software, CRMs, ADS from different industries, um, finance companies, uh, legal industry, recruiters, and local councils. So with that said, let's talk about
Hang
SharePoint. And
on,
I know
hang on,
Peter,
hang on,
yes, Peter.
hang on. Back up the truck here. One thing you forgot to mention here is that we are actually operating on Microsoft Azure.
I mentioned that, Peter, you're listening.
Did you? I'm sorry. But
But it's
but
glad you
the
mentioned.
yeah, but the thing is, the reason why I wasn't listening was I don't know. Anyway, but um, no, I think it's a good point to mention here about Microsoft Azure because it means that from a data sovereignty perspective, we host the data in country. So if you're based, and when you log into Secure Signing and say, I'm an Australian based company, guess what? Your data goes into the Microsoft Azure platform in Australia. Okay, so we are, in tune with data sovereignty laws all over the world. And this isn't just Australia or New Zealand. If you're in Europe, same thing's going to happen. You know, if you're in the US, same thing's going to happen. So, you know, we are in tune with, the whole, data privacy, data compliance, data sovereignty laws around the world.
Oh, thank you for that, Peter. All right, moving on. Let's talk about SharePoint. So what is the history of SharePoint? And I know, Peter, you have a lot of things to say about this. SharePoint actually was launched way back in 2001. What is it? It is the main collaboration platform in the MS 365 suite. And how many users are there? According to Google, there are 200 million users worldwide. Peter, anything to say?
One, that's insane. Okay.
That's a
Um,
lot of users.
but look, this is the reality of it. I mean, I've been in this industry long enough to know that SharePoint was originally launched when it was launched years ago. It was an intranet solution. It was everyone used it for their intranets. It grew from there. You know,
Mhm.
things like then OneDrive, is integrated. It's used in SharePoint. So your information's been stored in the intranet as such but now you've got your network drives, you've got your sharing of information, you've got and the beauty of it is that it is part of Microsoft Office 365, which means you're working in Word, you're working in Excel, you're working in PowerPoint, all these tools that a lot of government slash private organizations use on a daily basis. It becomes a no-brainer to store the information there, because if you're collaborating on a document, or if you want to share a document, easier, faster, and healthier for the environment.
Good point, tying it back to being more sustainable. So now that we know the history of SharePoint, let's talk about the importance and the impact of this to businesses. So number one, as mentioned, this is a central hub for document management. It enhances team collaboration, like you see version control, different permissions, and of course, it helps drive digital transformations and paperless workflows. Like Peter, among your customers, can you share some examples of how it does these things?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got, government customers, and I've got, corporate customers, and the reality is what they do is, you know, when you've got a document that needs to be shared amongst a team, you put it into a shared, in the past, you put it into a shared drive, and everyone had to have their network drives mapped. With SharePoint, it's a lot easier because it's just a web link to a particular site where you can go and access the document and then collaborate on it. But not only that, think of it in a different perspective, is that Raoul, if you go and leave and I need access to your documents, how do I get to them? How do I know where they are? How do I know? You know, but the most common one I see from a lot of my customers is the onboarding process. Okay. So when someone's onboarded to an organization, you point them in a direction where all the information's stored, and then they can actually access all the information, make it in a smoother, faster transition into the organization, because all the information, one, you've got your intranet running all the information they need, and two, they've got all the documents there on hand to be able to work and do what they need to do. So you can see it's a holistic view of an organization trying to share information and collaborate, and also keep things moving in the organization when people do go on holidays and things like that. So it becomes a very powerful solution from that aspect.
I definitely agree with you. Like in terms of collaboration, one thing I've seen with a lot of our customers, especially here in New Zealand, local councils, they love using SharePoint because if they're working on like tenders, contracts, you have different teams. You have like a legal team, you have procurement, you have HR working on all a single document, and they need to collaborate. And
Well,
yeah, and the
but,
common pain points solved by this. Yeah, go Peter.
but we do it all the time internally. I mean, Joseph will, run up a document and say, here, have a look at this, see what you think. I'll open it up in a link, and I can see him working on it. I'm working on it at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
how cool's that? And then I can delete stuff that he's actually putting in there as well, which is quite funny actually. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it becomes a powerful solution. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. And in fact, what are the common pain points that were solved by SharePoint? You mentioned this already. Documents are hard to find or get lost. And with SharePoint, if you're the administrator, you can set the workflow so that everybody is following one protocol. But what are the
Yes.
key benefits, more importantly, of this integration with SharePoint is, number one, our integration allows you to save documents into a designated SharePoint folder. Right, Peter?
Correct. Correct. So you can save it into a particular folder, which means, everyone knows that, if it's a folder for sales, or if it's a folder for policies, or if it's a folder for whatever, everyone goes into that one folder and finds the information they need. And they're getting the most updated one. See, here's the interesting thing is that, I've seen in the past is that people get documents in their email and they reuse the same document over and over again. And then somebody goes and updates it, and then they don't have the updated one, and they send that out to a customer, and boom, it's a fail.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, with this benefit, one of the things you mentioned, like if somebody goes on holiday, you will know where to find it. Another benefit is it becomes easier. By using the integration, you will have fewer clicks by sending a document directly in SharePoint. Right, Peter?
I love the clicks. I love the clicks. But
and you're going to demonstrate that later.
Yeah. And this is the reality of it is that, if you have to upload a document, send it off, and then once it comes back into your email, remember to put it back into the folder or wherever you need to store it so that it's compliant. One, it's less clicks, but two, there's too many points of failure there. Failure, I mean, the reality is that, we all live busy lives. We all got things to go. Once you send a document off to get signed, you literally forget about it until it comes back. Now, when it comes back, you get excited because you sign the document. The document's been signed by the customer. Your process is complete. That one last step of putting it into the correct folder could be the missing link. Raul goes on leave. Did that customer sign that document? I don't know. Did he? I don't know. Where is it?
Can't find it. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
So,
and I've heard that many times. Compliance, a lot of people forget the last step, saving it back in the right place if they're doing it manually.
But it's compliance. There's also security, and I'm guessing this is something coming up because I always like to jump the gun. But security as well. Is it safe to store information in your email?
Maybe not. Agree. All right.
Yeah.
Next benefit is, of course, as mentioned, this integration is already included into your plan, so there is no additional cost in using this integration. And finally, of course, by using our platform, our signatures are using PKI-based technology, so you're sure that our signatures are safe. Anyway, that's it from our PowerPoint.
We are such nice guys for giving it away like that, aren't we?
Yes, of course. Well, because everybody's SharePoint. Anyway, it's time for the demonstration, Peter.
Because our customers are special, that's why.
Yes, they are. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Peter, and go ahead. Good luck.
Okay, so I'm in our SharePoint intranet/site internally. Okay, so if I wanted to send a document out to get it signed by Raul, in some instances you might actually just drag this and drop. In the old case, you drag and drop it into your email. You send it off, and you send the customer to sign it, and then they got to actually go and print it out, sign the document, then scan it in and send it back. Okay, pain in the bupkis. Okay. But what we can do here is, you select your document, okay, click on the little three dots here and send for signature. Okay, so I click on that and then it will take me to this, and I'm going to say, I'm going to send it to Raul to get it signed. From here, we go to the next screen where it actually tells us, okay, so there's a whole bunch of information here, but I just want the signature from Raul right now. So I'm going to insert a signature. I'm going to put his email address in here.
change my name. Oh, change my name.
Okay, yeah. Mate, I'll just call you Fun.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
I'm asking to change my name so that it won't ask for my password. We're just gonna use a
Yeah,
PIN
it's
code.
just, yeah. So, and then I drag it down here. I put it here. Make it the size I want, and if I actually wanted to, I could add an additional field like, a date picker, for example, because I want to know the date he actually signed it as well, because it's important to know that. Okay, so date picker there, and then I just say next. There it is there, passcode, fund, send. Now,
That quick?
what document's gone? Okay, now I'll go back to my SharePoint site. And from here, we can go in here and we'll just wait for Raul to get the document and signed it. But while he's doing that, see, the other things you can do in here are things like, if you've got a whole bunch of documents you've sent out that you actually want to check up on, you can actually select this and you can see here, you can get document status, you can manage your signing process from here. So, if I clicked on manage a signing process, for example, it will actually load up and show me where things are at, what's going on, what's been signed, what hasn't been signed. You can see here we've done this before as a testing. It's in progress here. Has anything been signed? Well, as a matter of fact, yeah, we did get some other documents signed previously, and that's all done. Okay, so all within the SharePoint site. I haven't left the SharePoint site. It actually feels like I'm actually in the SharePoint site still, running this whole operation. Okay, so if I go back to the directory we were working in, holy crap, look, Raul's actually signed it. And we can see that it's been signed because look, it says it's been signed. There's a difference there. Okay, there's the original document I sent out. It's signed by Raul. It's there. Okay, so you can see during this call, we got a document signed. If I actually open it and have a look at it, just quickly, there
And
it
I think
is.
I heard the email notifications come in.
Exactly right. I got an email notification come in as well, telling me that it's been signed and gone back in. And you can see my email here. Can you see the email roll?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's the document that got signed, but you also get a certificate as well of completion. Okay. The certificate of completion tells me that if I open it, that Raul signed it on a particular day in the country he signed it at and what IP address he signed it in. Okay, so it gives me all these stats from a compliance perspective. It's super important, So there's no, if what's he signed that document. I know he did. Okay, there's no, and this is all using the secure signing security in the back end to make sure that he signs it. But you can see how easy that was and how easy it gets tracked. So if one awesome example I always love to give is, think of it this way. Friday afternoon, I sent a whole bunch of documents out to get signed, and I'm going on leave for a week. Okay. How do and I say to Raul, mate, I just sent 10 documents out to get signed to 10 different customers. Can you keep track of them for me? They're in this folder.
No.
But he can go into this folder and do what I did before, select a couple of documents and go and get the status for manage the process of it from here. Or you can actually see the documents actually coming back in that are signed.
If it's signed.
Yeah. And I don't have to worry about it, which I think is super powerful, when you think about it, because it's that whole workflow process. It keeps the business moving. Doesn't matter who's on leave, doesn't matter who's doing what, the process is still moving forward. Okay, it's not slowing your business down.
Right.
Okay.
Great demo,
So,
Peter.
sorry?
No, great demo. I just had a great demo.
Oh, thank you. That's the first time you ever complimented me, mate. I'm impressed. All right, I'll
You're
stop
lucky.
sharing.
All right. All right, thanks, Peter. And let me just share my screen again. And one thing also that Peter forgot to mention is using our templates. You can send it out as well within the integration. So let me give you an example. So let's say you need to send out like a registration form to an employee over here. You could send out that PDF, right? Or if you have this saved as a template in your secure signing account, you can select it by going to the three dots, select template, and this will show you all the different templates you have, and you can just send out the right one, and it's going to be saved back into that folder. So let's say there's a new employee, and when you get information from them, click on that, click on send, and it gets saved back there. So that is another feature that we have. Yes, Peter.
I love this feature because you know,
Mhm.
we deal with some customers who deal with, you know, NDIS customers, for example, who send out these standard forms to their clients to sign, and the form's the same. Why is it the same? Because it's a government form. You know, that they need certain pieces of information. You know, you fill the template in, and bingo, oingo boingo, you send it out. You know, you can send it out to, you know, 10 people or 10,000 people. Get it all signed back
All right.
in, and you know, you're done.
Yeah. Peter, we have a question, and I think you can answer this. I'm not too good with SharePoint. The question is, can you restrict who can see the signing status of the documents, or would you have to restrict access at the SharePoint folder level?
You can do it either way. I mean, you can restrict it in SharePoint, so you can put restrictions in SharePoint on the particular folder if you want to, or you can actually, depending on, we've got security and secured signing as well, which allows you to actually restrict it as well. So it really comes down to how you want to do it in your organization, or how your organization is doing that process currently. So, and this is the beauty of our solution, is that we are flexible. We allow you to, we try to, with secure signing, we try to fit within the organization's productivity model so that we can actually make them more productive rather than having to do a whole change management thing.
All right. There's another question, and we're almost running out of time. The other question is, how can I install this integration to SharePoint? Yeah, it's very simple. On our website, we have the SharePoint support page, and we're going to be sending this to you after this webinar. If you click over here, this link will show you the instructions. So go to the settings in SharePoint, add an app, and then download it from the store, and then link your account. So that's about it. Another thing on this page is how to use it. It's fairly simple, and Peter already demonstrated it. But what I'd like to point out to our audience is we have a webinar from way back from one of our partners. And this webinar shows how you can leverage SharePoint with some automations to get things done together with secure signing. So if you're in the legal industry, take a look at this webinar on our website. It can show you how you can fully leverage the platform. All right.
And the other thing, I wanted to point out really quickly is that we do have integrations into Microsoft Office as well. So you can actually download our Microsoft Office integrations, which then allows you to actually send if you're building a document in Microsoft Word, for example, you know, you'll have a button right at the top in the menu of Microsoft Word. Once you finish it, you click on that button, and you can shoot that Word document straight out to get signed. So we also have that integration to make it easier if you don't want to be storing it.
Yeah,
there's
thank
another
you, Peter.
question.
Aside from that, is there another question? No, that's about it. Anyway, just to recap everything, what are the benefits of our integration with SharePoint is that you can save documents into your designated SharePoint folder, fewer clicks by sending it directly within SharePoint, and of course, this comes at no additional cost, and you'll be using enhanced security features with PKI basic technology when you send out these documents. So there you go.
That's a really important one. Sorry, that's a really important one right at the end, because one thing you got to remember always is that regardless of whether you're in SharePoint, okay, we still apply the same level of security on those documents when they're being sent out to get signed.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Yeah. And that's our webinar for today. If you have questions or you'd like to see a demo firsthand, yeah, please feel free to get in touch with us. So Peter's email's there, my email's there, and we'd be more than happy to meet again. That's it. Peter, say bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Love your work, guys. Go out there and have some fun today.
Bye-bye.
See ya.